July 11, 2015, just after 8:50 p.m. Inside Mexico's most secure prison, Altiplano, everything seemed normal. Guards on their rounds, inmates locked down, the kind of place no one leaves unless they're dead. And yet, within minutes, Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, the billionaire drug lord behind the world's most powerful cartel, was gone. No alarms, no guards rushing in, no sign of struggle, just a hole in the floor and a mile of tunnel. A plan so daring, so precise, it sounds like a Hollywood script. Except this wasn't fiction, it was real. And it shook the world. To understand the escape, you have to understand the man. Joaquín Archibaldo Guzmán Loera was born in La Tuna, a small village in the mountains of Sinaloa, Mexico. A place where poverty wasn't just normal, it was expected. From a young age, Guzmán learned the trade of the mountains, growing poppies and marijuana. But it wasn't enough. He wanted more. By the 1980s, he had climbed his way into the Guadalajara cartel, working under legendary narco Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo. Ruthless and ambitious, Guzmán proved he could move massive amounts of cocaine, fast. He built trafficking tunnels under the US border, used trains, planes, submarines, even refrigerated trucks full of jalapenos. Wherever there was a weakness in the system, El Chapo found it. But power came with a price. Cities turned into war zones. Thousands were killed. Politicians and police were bought or buried. Yet through it all, El Chapo remained untouchable, because no matter how close authorities got, he always disappeared. In 2001, he pulled off his first legendary escape, smuggled out of prison, hidden in a laundry cart. Some say he paid over $2 million in bribes. Others say no one even tried to stop him. For 13 years, he was a ghost, running the Sinaloa cartel with brutal efficiency. The DEA called him the most powerful drug trafficker in the world. Forbes listed him as one of the richest men alive. In 2014, Mexican Marines finally caught him again, hiding in a seaside condo in Mazatlan. He was arrested without firing a shot. The world breathed a sigh of relief. El Chapo was behind bars. The myth was over. Or so we thought. Altiplano Prison, officially known as Federal Social Readaptation Center No. 1, is located just 56 miles west of Mexico City. Built to hold Mexico's most dangerous criminals, it was the country's answer to El Chapo's legendary Vanishing Act, a fortress of steel and concrete, designed for men who could never be allowed to leave. Every inch of Altiplano was under surveillance. Inmates were watched around the clock, every movement monitored, every conversation recorded. El Chapo was kept in a special wing. His cell had steel-reinforced walls, motion sensors, and a solid metal door with limited external access. Cameras filmed him 24/7, even while he slept. His phone privileges? None. Visitation? Strictly controlled. Not even his lawyers could speak to him without passing through multiple checkpoints. But there was one blind spot. Every cell had a small corner area where prisoners were allowed to shower, an area just out of the camera's reach for privacy. It was meant to be a courtesy, a bit of dignity in an undignified place. But for El Chapo, it was a design flaw, a weakness, and that's all he needed. While guards believed he was simply pacing his cell, brooding over lost power, he was watching, timing routines, studying layouts, memorizing patrol shifts. He wasn't just waiting, he was planning, And while he played the part of a contained man inside Altiplano, outside, his cartel was quietly digging beneath the surface. Literally, while El Chapo paced inside Altiplano, outside, the real operation had begun. Roughly a mile away, a seemingly innocent construction site hid one of the boldest escape operations in history. A team of cartel engineers, trained in mining, architecture, and logistics, were brought in from multiple countries. They had blueprints of the prison, exact GPS coordinates, and something else: inside help. They began digging a tunnel from the outside, carefully navigating beneath layers of foundation, piping, and reinforced barriers until they were directly under Cell 20. This wasn't just a tunnel, it was an underground highway. 5.7 feet high, nearly a mile long, equipped with oxygen lines, ventilation ducts, and a fully wired lighting system. And at its core, a motorcycle, custom modified to run on rails, rigged to transport tools, supplies, and eventually, one man. It was fast, silent, and built specifically for Guzmán's small frame, designed to get him out within minutes once the tunnel was complete. To mask the sound of construction, the cartel timed their work to coincide with scheduled prison maintenance and heavy equipment operation. Every vibration, every sound, buried beneath a symphony of distraction. The digging took over 6 months, done entirely by hand and precision tools. Each foot of soil removed was carried out, disposed of, and covered up. No one above ground ever knew. By July 2015, the tunnel was ready. The rails had been tested. The exit beneath the prison had been located. All that was left was to open the floor. It was July 11th, 2015, 8:52 p.m. Joaquín Guzmán Loera, known to the world as El Chapo, stepped into the only part of his cell not under constant watch, the shower corner. And just like that, he was gone. There were no alarms, no alerts, no shouts or panic. The guards didn't even check for 18 full minutes. When they did, they found something that defied logic and exposed the prison's greatest flaw: a square hole beneath the shower, just over 50 centimeters wide, fresh edges, no dust, leading straight into the earth. El Chapo had climbed down a 32-foot vertical shaft, using a ladder secretly assembled beneath his feet. Waiting below was a motorcycle mounted on rails, modified, fast, ready. He zipped through the tunnel in minutes, passing air ducts, work lights, and structural reinforcements, built just for this moment. At the other end, a construction shed, a hole in the ground, fresh earth piled nearby, a cartel vehicle parked out front, engine running. In under 10 minutes, the world's most wanted drug lord was free again. By the time the prison staff sounded the alarm, El Chapo was already gone. He had vanished right beneath their feet, and Mexico's most secure prison was humiliated. The moment the story broke, it sent shockwaves across the globe. The Mexican government was humiliated, their most high-profile prisoner gone again. President Enrique Peña Nieto called the escape an affront to the Mexican state. Heads rolled. High-ranking officials were fired. Security protocols were overhauled. The United States stepped in fast, offering a $5 million reward for El Chapo's capture. The DEA, FBI, and Homeland Security all joined forces. Hundreds of agents were deployed. Thousands of checkpoints set up. Drones scanned remote jungles. Raids took place nearly every night. But it didn't matter. El Chapo was always one step ahead. He had an underground network of safe houses, scouts, and informants. Wherever the agents went, he was already gone. The world's most wanted man had become a ghost. For 6 months, nothing. No photos, no phone calls, no confirmed sightings. And then, he made a mistake. A big one. He couldn't resist the spotlight. El Chapo reached out to a Mexican actress for a movie about himself. And just like that, his ego gave him away. The moment the story broke, it sent shockwaves across the globe. The Mexican government was humiliated, their most high-profile prisoner gone again. President Enrique Peña Nieto called the escape an affront to the Mexican state. Heads rolled. High-ranking officials were fired. Security protocols were overhauled. The United States stepped in fast, offering a $5 million reward for El Chapo's capture. The DEA, FBI, and Homeland Security all joined forces. Hundreds of agents were deployed. Thousands of checkpoints set up. Drones scanned remote jungles. Raids took place nearly every night. But it didn't matter. El Chapo was always one step ahead. He had an underground network of safe houses, scouts, and informants. Wherever the agents went, he was already gone. The world's most wanted man had become a ghost. For 6 months, nothing. No photos, no phone calls, no confirmed sightings. And then, he made a mistake. A big one. He couldn't resist the spotlight. El Chapo reached out to a Mexican actress for a movie about himself. And just like that, his ego gave him away. One man, one tunnel, one motorcycle, a billion-dollar empire, and a prison break that embarrassed a nation on the world stage. This was the escape that made history. The 2015 tunnel breakout of Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán. And if you think this was wild, wait until you hear what went down at his daughter's wedding, or what Sean Penn really said after their secret meeting. Hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up, because the craziest cartel stories are just getting started.